بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A'udhu billahi minash rajim. Ar-rijalu qawwamuna ala anisa bima fada'a la Allahu ba'ahum a'ala ba'adin wa bima anfaqu min awwalihim fasalihatu qanitatun hafitatun lil ghaibi bima hafita Allahu wallati takhafuna nushuzahunna fa'aituhunna wahjuruhunna fi al-madaji'i wadribuhunna fa'in ata'anakum falataghu alayhinna sabilan inna ala kana alayyan kabira. Men are the maintainers of women, with what Allah has made some of them to excel others, and with what they spend out of their wealth. So the good women are obedient, guarding the unseen as Allah has guarded, and as to those on whose part you fear desertion, admonish them, and leave them alone in the beds and chastise them. So if they obey you, seek not a way against them. Surely Allah is ever exalted great. This verse of the Holy Quran must be the most misinterpreted verse of the entire Holy Quran, and has been used as a tool to discipline and control women. Muslim men have used this verse to perpetrate domestic violence against women and justify the beating of women to this verse in the Quran. At first glance, people may interpret this verse as saying men being responsible for women means women have to obey their husbands blindly. Men can beat women if they don't do what they want them to. Women have to stay at home. But we know that women have been given equal rights by Allah. Men are not given control over women, but rather are meant to be the providers of the household. There are some cultures in Pakistan and other Muslim countries where women are taught that their husbands are their gods on earth, whom they have to obey and revere. Otherwise, they could go to hell. It is blatantly obvious that the practice of abusing women in the name of Islam is not because of the teachings in the Holy Quran, but because of the misinterpretation of Islam and because of culture. There are no accurate interpretations of this verse, which compounds the issue. There is a lack of equivalent English words, and this is the main reason for the misinterpretation of this verse. No classical or contemporary Muslim scholar has ever argued that this verse actually means beat your wife, but in any marriage, whatever it means, it is a very last resort for a seriously dysfunctional marriage because of the infidelity of the wife. So, any evidence or coercion against women that is used to control or subjugate is considered to be oppression and is unacceptable in Islam, even if it is sanctioned by cultural practices. Many Muslim women feel compelled to stay in abusive relationships, as it is wrongly believed that they are supposed to unconditionally obey their husbands. Women feel pressured to not bring shame to their family by revealing the abuse in their marriage, and believe that it is their responsibility alone to maintain peace in the home. Lack of support for abused and divorced women contributes to perpetuating the problem. Lack of courage to take a strong and purposeful stand against abusive men also perpetrates violence as it is unaddressed. Rather than offering protection and help to battered women, most imams and religious leaders who are not trained in handling this complex problem often advise women to return to their violent homes and be better wives by trying harder to please their husband, implying that the women are responsible for the abuse, that if they really were good wives, they would not get abused. Nothing can be further from the truth. Hence, abused women often end up feeling abandoned by their own family, friends, and community. Our attitude should be such that the abused woman feels supported and helped. There is no excuse for putting a victim in a situation where she is uncomfortable and treating her in such a manner that she feels ashamed to reach out for help. There is a recent case in Italy in November of last year, November 2022, where a Pakistani couple were given life sentences for killing their 18-year-old daughter because she refused an arranged marriage. In another case, on the 18th of July 2022, Sania Khan was shot dead by her ex-husband because she divorced him and documented her divorce on TikTok. This is outrageous. We are in the 21st century, and yet women are still being oppressed and killed for standing up for their rights. I cannot even put into words the feelings that this brings out in me. That in this day and age, women are still being subjugated to these cultural practices which have nothing to do with Islam. There needs to be much more awareness of the issue of domestic violence and much more support for women. The next topic I would like to speak about, which is also discriminatory against women, is the issue of dowry at the time of marriage. Dowry is a practice which has never been sanctioned by Islam and is greatly on the increase among Muslims. The custom of dowry has its origins in the Hindu tradition. Hindus did not give their daughters any share of the family property. Instead, they were given dowries on their marriage as a measure of compensation in the form of household utilities. Meher is an Arabic word meaning dower. Dower is a benefit given by a man to a woman when they marry. It is the woman's legal right to receive it, and it is specified during the marriage contract. The dowry, where a bridal family has to arrange things in order to get their daughter married, is haram in Islam. Dowry, also known as jahez, where a daughter is getting married, then her family has to gather things such as a bed, cupboard, fridge, air conditioner, etc., which becomes a huge burden on the bride's family. And in most cases, the boy's side demands a huge amount of dowry from the bride's side in order to get married. In other words, they're selling their sons, but there we go. This puts a huge burden on the fathers and brothers of poor families. And in that case, a daughter becomes a liability for them. Hence, the huge amount of infanticide that goes on in Asian countries of girl babies. They're killed at birth because parents and families become worried about when they get older how they will be able to afford to marry them off. And of course, they can't stay unmarried because that is also against culture, and people will point fingers and the family will be ostracized, and people, will say things about them. Islam does not promote anything which pushes any gender down, which also applies to the beating. So if a man is allowed to beat a woman, why is a woman not allowed to beat a man? Because everything in Islam is equal for men and for women. Meher is a dowry which a husband should pay to his wife as soon as they get married. This is the only halal dowry, and the Holy Quran describes it as clean and clear. It is a precious gift a husband gives to his wife, which is hers to keep even if they divorce. There is no such thing in Islam that proves that men dowries are halal, and they are completely haram and should not be given. The only halal dowry is the meher given to the wife. I'm going to end my speech there.
Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim إنك حميد مجيد اللهم انصر من نصر دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعلنا منهم واخذل من خذل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه فيستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahus samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Malikin nas. Lahin nas min sharril wa'asil nakhannas. Allazi yuwaswisu fi sudurin minal jannati wan nas. Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Allahumma salli ala. Thank you everyone for tuning in and listening to the second part of my speech, Women in Islam. As you can see, these are topics that I am quite passionate about. I hope everyone has a good Friday, and please can everyone pray for our brothers and sisters in Palestine, in Syria, and all of the countries in the world where they are being oppressed and killed for no reason at all. Thank you very much and goodbye.